Hello everyone and welcome again to Mitchmatics. In this video I'm going to show you how to subtract integers by adding the opposite. I briefly covered that with the subtraction in number lines video, but we're going to see how to do it with just looking at the problem and thinking about how it works. So again, when we are subtracting integers or we're subtracting numbers from each other, we can use the fact that subtracting a number is the exact same thing as adding the opposite. So that is the key fact that we need to remember when we're doing this. So again, the key fact is subtracting a number, again I use a hashtag to show the number symbol, is the same as adding the opposite integer. So all you need to remember is that you can think of it this way, and you don't actually need a visual model or a number line to help guide you if this is a better way for you. So subtracting integer by adding the opposite. So let's think of it this. Let's start with the problem. Let's say 3 minus 2. So if I know what 3 minus 2 is, I know 3 minus 2 is just 1. But let's say I do the opposite. Let's say instead of 3 minus 2, I'm going to think of it as 3 plus the opposite of 2, which is a negative integer, so it's negative 2. So the opposite is 3 plus negative 2. So instead I am adding the opposite. I'm adding a negative integer. So that is actually the same exact thing. 3 plus negative 2 will give me 1. So that's what I mean by subtracting a number is the same as adding the opposite integer. So let's do a few more examples. So let's say instead I have negative 3 minus a 2. So if I just think of a number line, negative 3 minus a 2, I know I'm at negative 3 and I have to go to the left 2 more times. So I'm going to the left, so I'm getting bigger. I'm becoming a bigger negative. So that's basically me just adding 2 more to negative 3. I'm getting more negative. If this was in context in real life, it would be like if I owed my friend $3 and then I borrowed $2 more from him. So now I owe him $5 or negative 5. Now let's do the principle. Subtracting a number is the same as adding the opposite integer. So instead I'm going to do negative 3 plus negative 2, because remember, there is a little positive sign in front of this number, even though we don't write it. So this is a positive number. So it's now negative 3 plus negative 2. And if I just remember back to when I'm adding integers, if I'm adding 2 integers with the same sign, all I have to remember is that a negative plus a negative will be a bigger negative. So my answer will be a negative that's bigger. And now all I need to do is, if I remember back to the absolute value method, I just have to add the absolute value of 3 and 2, which is, or negative 3 and negative 2 I mean, and that's just 3 and 2. 3 plus 2 is 5. And that is adding the opposite integer. Let's keep doing. Let's keep going. Let's do one more. Let's say I had negative 6 minus negative 3. So if I do the same thing, if remember based on a number line, if I'm at negative 6 and I'm subtracting negative 3, my first instinct is to go to the negative direction, but remember I'm doing a negative subtraction. I'm subtracting a negative number. So that means I reverse my direction and go to the positive side. So essentially I'm adding 3. So actually that would mean I would be at negative 3. Now let's just do the opposite. Negative 6 plus positive 3. So that's the same thing. Negative 6 plus 3 will be negative 3, because I am so in real life context that means I owe my friend $6 and I pay him back 3. How much do I owe him? I would owe him negative $3. Now the way I learn this is a mnemonic, and I'm going to show you the mnemonic really quick. I'm going to do one example of the mnemonic, and then I hope this helped you out in learning this. Let me know if you need further assistance. So the mnemonic is keep, or it's not a mnemonic, it's just a saying, I should say. Keep, change, change. So if this doesn't make sense to you, just remember the mnemonic keep, change, change. So all that means is I keep the first sign of the first number, I change the operation to positive, and then I change the integer sign of the last number. And so this only works for when I'm subtracting integers, not addition. So you don't apply it for these cases. You only apply it when you're first subtracting. So let me just show you one example. I'm going to do that with, let's say I'm going to do negative 3 minus 2. So I'm going to use the mnemonic keep, change, change. So I'm going to think I'm going to keep the first sign. I'm just rewriting it. That's all I'm doing. -3. I'm going to change it to positive. And then I'm going to change this to a negative integer, which is -2. So that's keep, change, change. And now I have -5 once I add this. So that's what keep, change, change is, and I hope one of these methods helped you out, and best of luck with solving your subtracting integer problems, and have a great day.